Welcome. This is the earnings special on Bloomberg Quint, and we are taking stock of Just Dial and the first quarter numbers. And for that, I am in conversation with Abhishek Bansal, the CFO of the company. Abhishek, good morning, and thank you so much for joining us. It's been yet another very strong quarter for Just Dial, and at least as far as estimates are concerned, some of the numbers are ahead of the consensus. My question then is, considering that there is evident improvement in traffic and paid listings, there's a matter of that you guys looking at a reasonably large base. So for the next 2 or 3 quarters, if you could give us an idea about whether or not you can actually expect to sustain this growth momentum that we have seen in the case of the previous few quarters as well.
See, from our perspective, what we are trying to ensure is that despite challenging macro environment, especially for SMEs, we need to ensure that we deliver adequate ROI for their particular spends. If we are able to achieve that, we should be able to continue our particular growth momentum in top line. To that extent, traffic, which is the most important indicator, we have reached about 156 million quarterly unique users. The mobile traffic, which forms 80% of the traffic, grew at about 36% year on year. We are also adding to our feet on street team, so that particular team has seen about additions to now 4,400 odd people from about 3,100 about 4 quarters back. So some of these particular steps that we are taking should help us be in a reasonably good state as far as coming quarters and years are concerned.
Okay, Abhishek. So again, has there been a marked shift of business between Tier 2 and Tier 3 towns, and has this had an impact on realizations? How have realizations panned out overall?
So Tier 2, Tier 3 cities for last quarter contributed about 29% to our revenues, and they now form almost 50% of our particular paid campaigns. So which effectively means that our particular ticket size in Tier 2, Tier 3 is much lower compared to Tier 1 cities, which in effect is expected to have pressure on our realizations. However, despite that, realizations we have been able to maintain flattish for last 3 to 4 quarters. So last particular quarter, if you see, of the 13.5% top line growth, almost the entire growth mainly came from the volume side, as we added about 14,500 net paid campaigns.
It's interesting you spoke about volume. So Abhishek, firstly, what is the update on pricing, and what takes precedence over pricing and volumes over the next 2 to 3 quarters as we move in?
See, pricing in our particular case is very scientifically determined based on the category for which the SME is advertising, the geography the SME wants to advertising, and a couple of other factors. So based on traffic trends, pricing automatically gets adjusted. Now, from our particular perspective, the first objective that we keep in mind is overall revenue growth. So the idea is to maximize revenue growth. A part of it could obviously materialize from the volume front, and the rest due to realizations. Realizations, since the share of Tier 2, Tier 3 is growing, they on a blended basis are expected to have some pressure. So a good portion of growth should ideally materialize from the volume front.
And finally, Abhishek, on the aspect of the transition to the transaction-led platform, where is that process now, considering you guys had initiated this process about a few quarters ago? Where are you guys now, and what are the updates here?
So on the transaction-led platform, at this point of time, we have taken an approach that in certain particular categories, we provide users multiple options which users can actually avail for getting transactions done in that particular category. We are very clear that profitability does matter for a long-term business sustainability. We are adding features which help users in doing transactions, be it through price discovery, etc. So that particular feature is a sort of ongoing process.
Okay. All right, Abhishek. We'll leave it at that. Thanks so much for joining us, and wish you the best for the future. Thank you.